Today we have a special guest because we're going to talk about pitching, but we are also partners in this project that is called Deus. And today we have a special guest, is Antti. I can't pronounce your last name, I'm sorry, I just forgot how to.
No worries, no worries. It's Leppilampi. We just spoke about that. It's hard surname to say, but we practiced that. The practice phase went very well.
Yeah, the practice was okay, but no. Yeah. So yeah, we have Antti today. He's going to help us for pitching. And he's also part of this project called Deus, and that I'm going to explain you later about this. So Antti is a project manager in this organization. How can you name it, Antti?
Our university is called XAMK, Southeastern Finland University of Applied Sciences, and in there, if you're talking about the project that I belong to, it's called ESG. So I'm doing lots of electronic sports stuff, which is very famous in Finland at the moment, and also in Denmark, as I've been hearing with Astralis and many other great ones.
Great. So yeah, Antti focuses in building a network for people interested in sports the region of Finland. He has been helping students to form companies, mainly in Finland also, but also work, kind of have a experience with making workshop in Spain. I didn't know that, so you speak Spanish?
No, sorry, I don't speak Spanish, only a couple of sentences.
Recording in progress.
But like I've been there, like in University of Alcala, there was a good pitching workshop where I was also.
Okay, perfect. So Antti is going to help you and the performance and of course the structure. So I really hope that everybody pay attention today and be super aware of everything that Antti has to say. So thank you so much, Antti, for being here, and the Zoom is yours.
Thank you so much, Daniela. What an honor and what a pleasure to be here with you guys. I will open up my PowerPoint slides from here. Daniela mentioned already about the Deus project, a couple of points, so we don't need to dig into that until we go to the end of the workshop. But let's check if I open this on the full slide. And now, can everyone see this? Yes, all right. So basically, today, for these 2 hours that we have here, I will be discussing with you about pitching, but also like trying to form in these 2 hours a learning atmosphere with you guys so that you could learn from each other as much as possible. You could teach each other, because I've noticed that, like I learned that you are already very far in how it comes to pitching. So you have good ideas to share with us. So we will do this 2 hours in a very discussable, cooperative way. And we will share our thoughts on what makes a good pitch, or actually I just changed it to what makes an awesome pitch, but I forgot to write it down in there. But yeah, so each participant performs their ideas and everyone will get a possibility to give feedback to each other. Some aims for this workshop, since it's 2 hours. Yes, so as I said already, you have some time. You will have some time today to discuss about what makes an awesome pitch and how to build a good pitching structure so that you will get some more help and benefits on when you're going to speak to the investors next time, that I've heard. And also, as I said, we will be working cooperatively by teaching and learning from each other. And also one aim is to remind ourselves from topics we know already, but that are still good to remind ourselves. And what I mean by this is that as you have, based on what I heard, that as you have your own experiences on what pitching means, so like don't think of it this way, that even though that you will hear today some points you know and you've been discussing about, possibly some of you like more than the others, like try to still think that this is a good time for you to remind yourself a couple of things, like what is important to you, what is important for you to remember. So those are the aims. And some game rules for today. This is something that I always say in the beginning of a workshop to my students in Finland, that the first thing is that be ready to report on your progress. And by this, I always mean that if each of you could be very that, for example, now I see from here Ahmad and Olga, so that at some point I could ask from Olga that, Olga, could you tell like what do you think about this? Or Ahmad, could you tell like how is your team progressing from this point forward? Yes, good. Olga was already like ready, but you don't need to reply anything now. But it's good that we did that check. Yes, and
I just had to change the device.
Okay, no worries. Yes, actually, now we, since we also heard some echo while you were speaking, let's also remind that when we are doing these Zoom lessons, try to remember that if you're not speaking, like put the mic off. Do a check a couple of times, just so that we won't hear anything that is not belong to our ears, or if the other thing happens, that if it starts to echo.
Yeah, so now it's no echo, and you were asking about the progress, or you were you wanted to check if I'm with you.
Yes, there was a good test. You passed that very well.
Yeah, I was listening to you in my phone while I was coming with my laptop for a better internet, so I'm near into the woods now. So, but I'm ready to respond to your questions.
Fantastic, Olga. You cleared the test for sure. Thank you, Olga.
Okay, so mute the microphone now.
Yes, thank you. And the third game rule is that it's just a reminder that I also always remind our students in Finland, is that be 100% ready during the workshop, to be present at the moment. So that like there's only this. It only requires your attention for 2 hours. We will get small breaks during these 2 hours between your exercises, so you can like once a while go up and continue working. And last but not least, we would prefer if everyone would have their webcams on. So at least like when you go to breakout room, so it will get much easier for you to network and more and get to know each other, like what are you discussing together. Yes, so there's some messages in the chat, but I can't open it for some reason. If they're included to me, or if Daniela or Federica or someone else would want to say them aloud, they can say it. But if they're not for me, then I will just continue forward. So this is me. I'm your facilitator, Antti Leppilampi, and I chose to take this picture. Actually, Daniela asked, like mentioned this picture also before we started, like 15 minutes before 4 o'clock, and I chose this picture because like I looked at it a couple of months ago, and I noticed that there's this positive mindset and a curious mind that wants to learn, and I can see that from 1-year-old me, and I still have it. I still have a passion for learning and helping people to find their inner motivation towards learning. Or usually what I do in Finland or the workshops that I've been abroad is that I love to help students or any entrepreneurs in finding out their inner motivation in life. If they're thinking about like what kind of a company to come up with, or if they're thinking about like where do I belong, what would be my future working organization, then I'm your guy. I'm the person who loves to help, and I love to see it when that student like ticks, and like I can see from his eyes that like he really knew like, okay, this is it, this is my thing. So that gets me thinking, and I noticed that this young fella, even though I was actually just eating a donut in this picture, but I think I still had something on mind on what to do. Well, at least I hope. Just kidding. So I am here to help you And now it's my time to end the speaking for a while, but I will just give you some clues on how to go forward. So this will be your first exercise now to think about. How we will do this is that now in the beginning, just think about this question individually. Think about your earlier experiences on like how you have pitched, for example, or how you have seen people pitch on live somewhere or on television or anywhere. Think about like what do you truly think that what makes an awesome pitch? Think about your earlier experiences, as I said, and write down individually at first, like any moments, any points that come into your head. You can use a notebook, you can use a mobile phone, write down to your computer. Do this individually at first. We'll have a couple of minutes for that. And I will tell you soon that I will escort you to discuss in breakout rooms. And there, when you're in the breakout rooms, I will soon tell you the exact amount of time that I will give to you. But then when you're in the breakout rooms, you can share together with your friends and decide what you agree on, like what makes an awesome pitch. And after that, we will share those points together. So this is how we will start. Has anyone, do you understand this exercise? Do you have questions concerning this?
So we have to write down now individually a list of things that we think that make the pitch great. Yeah, and then
Exactly.
when we'll work together, then we will make this a better list because we'll work together.
Exactly, you got it totally. So, but first, individually, I will give you a couple of minutes for that, and then you will move into breakout rooms where you can choose together the perfect list on what makes an awesome pitch, and then we will share all of those results together. I will welcome you back from the breakout rooms, but first, let's begin it with doing it individually. So a couple of minutes to do for that while I make the breakout rooms at the same time. So let's take 1 more minute for individual thinking, and then I will move to breakout rooms.
How many breakout rooms do you want?
I added there manually 6 breakout rooms, so I will soon escort you guys, the students, to breakout rooms. All right, so I will now move you to breakout rooms. Wow, we have a child, future entrepreneur in there in Olga's side. Good, he can give even better pitching extra like tips, hopefully. But like without further ado, continue the discussion in breakout rooms. And as I said, in their choose together, you will be 3 or 4 in each group, and together in the group decide, like get to know each other a bit, but then decide and discuss those points that you share together on what really makes an awesome pitch. Like try to figure out the point that when next you're with the investor and what would be an awesome pitch for that investor. So choose your points and discuss together, and then we will share them. I will give you around 10 minutes for this. So good luck, everyone. So let's start and give some points to each other on what makes an awesome pitch. And should we go so that from each of you, like from each team, like I will ask each person, like say one thing at a time, so that we won't steal each other's answers. Let's say one thing at a time. And I see from team 1 in here, I have Asel. Asel, are you online?
Yes, of course.
Yes, Asel, can you mention one thing that makes a good awesome pitch?
Clarity.
What do you mean by that?
So Ahmed in our group was saying I said to be on point, and he said clarity. And what we mean, I think, between me and him discussing this point is like to really focus on the most important aspect of this business, because we have limited amount of time, and to be very clear about it, and to have some kind of a contrasting or good kind of visuals that would translate what we're saying or complementing what we're saying. So clarity is super important while we're talking about it or we are displaying it. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Asil. Let's move to team number 2, and there we have Eduardo. Eduardo, are you online? Can you mention one thing?
Yeah, thank you. We said you must know your problem and why your solution is unique or different enough to be the one.
Can I write it like that? Is that the point? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Eduardo. Next from team 3, let's take Elina. Elina, are you online? I assume Elina is from Finland, so.
Yeah, Elin was in my
Yes.
group. You're from Latvia.
Yeah, so there's Elina online. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't have voice, so now you can hear me.
Now I can hear you. I was thinking, like, are you already spending Juhannus in there?
Well, not yet. We're still working.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. Yeah, can you mention one thing?
Yeah, yeah. Well, one thing was that the pitch needs to be interesting and inspiring, and have kind of personal touch.
Interesting, interesting. Thank you, Elina. Having a personal touch, we will talk about that soon also. But before we go there, let's take from team 4, Madalena.
Hi. Well, we have talked about something that for us is important, that is to show the relevance, technological, social, and financial relevance. It's very important for us, and other things, but this is one.
Technological, social, and what was the last one?
Financial.
Financial.
I don't know
Got it.
if you say it like this.
Thank you so much, Madalena. And next from team 5, we have Mats in here. Mats, could you mention one thing? What makes an awesome pitch?
Yeah. So authenticity. So, and we talked about all the mistakes you do as a presenter or performer, and to embrace the fuck-ups and to be comfortable with them.
Wow, that could be a name for a book. Embrace the fuck-ups. I love that. Very good, very good. Thank you, Mats. Let's take next from team 6, Piotr.
Captivating story. So the story that you can understand and empathize with, that is relevant to you.
I have the list. I can, if I have the list of our group. If you want, just briefly, we'll go into it. So we have.
Olga, if we can take let's take one one point at a time, so that like most of you guys can get to speak. So can you say, Olga, one thing?
Covering a real need or problem.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Going deeper to the real need of a problem. Exactly. Yeah. So let's move again. We have a couple of points in here. Someone else from team 1. There was Ahmad, Asil, and Laura.
Yes, this is Ahmad.
Okay.
Yes. Hello?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you now. The network just...
Okay, yeah.
So one thing to really look at is the clear headings when you are pitching on the presentation of your pitch deck. You have a clear headings.
That's very important. Did I get it right? Like clear headings on the presentation?
Yes.
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 Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next one we had from team 2, Aisun. Do you pronounce it right? Is it Aisun?
Yeah, that's right, Aisun.
Okay. Yes. Aisun, can you mention one thing?
Well, we discussed too much things, but for one thing, clear explanation of value proposition.
Clear explanation of value proposition, do you say? Okay, good. So let's take a couple of more. Let's take from the big groups. From team 5, there was Fabrizio, Madua, Mattei. Could someone of you say one thing?
Yes, we have confidence, passion, and energy of the presenter.
Very good, very good. One more, and then we'll go deeper to these points. We have there was Elina, Ismail, and Jurgis. So Jurgis, could you mention one?
Yeah, I can add. that if the pitching is for the investor, I think we need a clear vision how the investor will get the money back.
Awesome. Let's take a small break looking at these points in here. We started with clarity, be on point. What's the exact point of the business exactly? Uniqueness, why is your solution unique? Interesting and inspiring, having the personal touch, show the relevance, technological, social, financial, authenticity, captivating story, covering a real need or a problem, clear headings of the presentation, and so on and so on. Like awesome. Like I can truly see that like you're professionals in these points. Is this list, is it missing something? Do we still need to add like something that all of us want to hear? Olga, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, I would add it would be great to have a pre-tested the idea, but also it would be cool to contain a plan or a budget, a financial forecast. So a plan of action and the financial forecast. Budget, okay, budget is okay.
Madalena, you also have a comment?
Yes, Madalena, go ahead.
Yes, I think we should show at least if the growth potential, the vision, the future vision and the growth potential, because sometimes our product is not has not traction. If it has traction, we should show the traction, but if not, we at least should. Okay, yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Madalena. Many good points, and there's maths also. Yeah. I think you were the next one. Go ahead.
Yes, so we had one woman in our group that was saying, before you even start the whole thing, you need self-confidence.
Very interesting, very interesting. It can be seen like if you have the self-confidence. Good point. Thank you much. Oysen.
Yeah, I would like to add something more like a call to action. When we finish the presentation, it may need a call to action for the audience.
So like what is happening next?
Yeah, and how.
Very good, very good. Do we still need more? I think it's starting to look very good. I can see some in the chat, but I still can't open it for some reason. Is there some points? Contacts? Yes, I'll add that. And what do you mean by contacts? Can you tell me?
I think it's something everybody should do. At the end, leave your contacts to be reached.
So the basic idea is like how to contact you and like how, if I want to discuss more, how do I reach you?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Madalena. Very interesting points. And what I see from what got my interest was that like there were many points that actually go to the uniqueness, like why is your solution unique, and the clarity, and like many interesting points related to story, and the ones that you came up with the last ones. I want to ask before we go to the next part about the self-confidence thing. Like how like since from what I heard that many of you have done pitching for a long time, like do you feel self-confident? Like is there someone who would like to tell more about that, like self-confidence thing? Like do you need to be self-confident, or like is it a problem? Have you had any problems with self-confidence? Does someone want to share?
From the beginning, I was terrified. When I started to do my first pitches, I had to prepare for weeks in front of them, just saying my presentation everywhere, on my bike, under the shower, in a dark room, just to not to stumble on anything, because I feared, I had this stage fear, right? But more into the process, the more I got used to this setting, the easier it was. But the confidence is extremely important. That's true.
Thank you, Piotr. Mats, do you want to say?
Yeah. So I have performed in different ways on stages. I have been teacher, I've been music teacher, I've been French teacher, and I've been musician, and I've been lecturer. And I have been scared stiff when performing in music, because I have so much respect for the awesome musicians that are around or in the audience. Whereas when I teach in design thinking or things like that, I own the topic. I love to talk about the fuck ups, and that makes me confident. And therefore, I'm confident when speaking, because I share mistakes, because mistakes are a way of developing your career and ways of communicating. Whereas being given a topic and just giving it to an audience is a totally different thing.
It's like you're sharing your vulnerability at that time. Is that what you mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And I love to share my vulnerability, because I think that's a big quality to show. It shows that you trust. And yeah.
Very good.
There is no trust without vulnerability, right?
Hmm.
I just like to add that confidence can also have a dark side when you're overconfident, and that can really make a bad pitch, because I know from my experience, when I don't have my day or the energy and I'll just go along, I know what I have to do, and it's just gonna be a plain boring pitch. But if you have the right amount of stage fear, as we are talking, then, and if you want to connect with people, I think that's the best medicine.
If you want to connect with the people, that's the best medicine. That's very beautiful. Thank you, Mate. I want to ask from you, like, if you want to write down to the chat, each of you, like, how many of you like are afraid before going to the stage when performing for the investors? Or you can also do like this, yeah. Asel, do you want to say, like, how do you, like, if you're afraid, like, what gets the fear away? How do you solve that?
Well, yes, I don't know why, but I have a very huge fear, even though I'm kind of a speaker in here and I'm a trainer, but I can't help it. I get so much afraid when it's something like, if I don't connect to people, if I don't know them, if I don't feel like I'm talking to you and you're not smiling to me, I feel like that's it. I forgot everything. This is a bad idea. I shouldn't do this. So of course it's in our head. So what I do is that I try to look at someone who is like really friendly. And now I'm gonna take this opportunity to ask you guys to just smile at me when I'm pitching. Because it makes a lot of difference for me. And I wanted to say that what makes an awesome pitch also is to have a very good answers to the Q&A, because what one time happened to me is that I really don't have a good experience at pitching because my startup is really new. But I remember the last time I was in a place where I'm pitching my idea. It was very passionate. They were like really hooked, but then they started asking me questions that I was not prepared to answer. And they were not so relevant, but still they are the people who, you know, like judging. So it was like really for me, it threw me off. Like I didn't know how to answer them. And I think it was bad for the pitch, even though it was a very good pitch.
Thank you for sharing that, Asel. And for sure, I truly recommend like the smile. One interesting thing with the smile is that I immediately noticed that thing that like when you started to smile, it immediately affected me, and I think like others too. Like there's something magic like when you start to smile, but it needs to become in a good point when you're doing the pitch, because like it might be kind of like confusing if it gets in the wrong point, but I trust you will do it in a good point for sure. Thank you. Madalena, do you want to share something? You have your hand up.
No, I raised my hand just to say that I'm afraid of stage.
Oh yeah, yes.
I like to talk, but I'm afraid. And we do something in our team. We have a document on our drive with possible difficult questions and answers, possible answers. Well, just
that's
prepare.
good that you shared that. Thank you, Madalena.
Yeah, can you share that with us? This is amazing.
Yeah.
They are not the same for sure, because it depends of, but we also start without the project done. We don't have an MVP. Well, now we have, but before we went to Web Summit and so, and it's quite difficult to, if we don't have traction, to talk to investors, because they like something that is already tested and with numbers. So if we don't have our numbers, we need to look for other relevant numbers and other ways. And there are some questions like this, because when we start, we are not, we are starting. So I don't know, this is my experience.
Thank you for sharing that, Madalena. And there becomes a good point, like that I truly suggest, like all of you guys, like when you go to investors, and if you have something that you would like to share with each of you, do that, because like I can see that there's many people in here that like there's a community of you guys and you are friends. So help a friend in need for sure. Thank you, Madalena. These months, do you want to share something together?
Yes, about that anxiety when you're stepping on the stage. There is one trick what I'm using. I'm making a joke, because through that I'm not nervous anymore. I'm nervous to make a joke, but the jokes actually kind of help me to move on and be on this positive line.
It's interesting that you mentioned that. Thank you. It's like the point in when to bring up a joke is very interesting, and you need to be a total professional in there, like when deciding like when to give the joke. And this month, do you have when do you think, like, what is a good moment to bring a joke during a pitch?
For me, only the start is the worst part. Just start. So, for example, sometimes I'm just saying, "Hey guys, don't be afraid of me. If I look like that, I'm just a little bit nervous," and then I'm looking like I'm looking right now. So no, something like that.
But it's good. Like it's a good way if it helps you. I think the most important thing, but if it helps you, then do that, because it goes the authenticity part, and then people know that this is who you are. So you use humor in your work. So thank you for sharing that. But yeah, we have a good, awesome pitch table in here, and I recommend you that if you have your like smartphones in there, you can take a picture of this, but I will also share it with to the chat, so you can see it in the next exercise and from later on, of course. But that's about it. We are going to take a small break soon, but I'm going to quickly just mention a couple of things that I noticed that are quite relatable to some of the points that you mentioned. The last time when we did a DILS project workshop related to pitching, I showed some students the classic elevator pitch. And I'm not gonna go deeper into that, but it's something that, like, I think many of you have heard. But one interesting thing is just for everyone to decide that, is this something that I want to work? Because like after, like, I have seen several different kinds of pitches in Finland and in abroad. Usually they're very similar to each other. So I think we go back to the uniqueness and the authenticity, and like using humor and doing pitches like who you are, like try to bring that more. But if the script helps you, please feel free to do that. There was this guy called Oren Klaff who studied pitching for a long time. I read his book a while ago. It was a good book, and he wrote there on a couple of points that people usually think when seeing a pitch. I don't know what was the research, but it was an interesting point for sure. You check out that book if it's familiar to you, or if it's not familiar to you. And similar kinds of things were found from there. And it was interesting, like one straight quote from the book was that, how can I ignore this or spend at the least amount of time possible on like following the pitch? And that it was something that actually scared me a bit, something like, okay, like how much actually remains when there's people listening to your pitch, like how much actually remains in their head after they have heard you. So one thing that I usually try to say to our students is that, like, what would be that one sentence, if there would be one sentence left after a pitch that would be stuck on people, like person's head you're pitching to, what would that sentence be? And that might help a little bit. And one other example that I also wanted to give to you guys was from this guy called Patrick Riley, from a book, The One-Page Proposal. I loved it how he actually says that, like, he uses one-pagers on in everything he does, even if it's like a longer project description or something. That's amazing. I don't know if that's really true, but it's something like worth trying out if that would work for you. Because, for example, if you have a big idea at hand, big project coming up, I don't see no problem in that. If you would try to make it as a one-page proposal, that would be very interesting. So this is one tool for you to think about when doing a pitch, for example, for the investors. I don't know if someone of you have like tried that out. You can say that aloud if you want. And lastly, I wrote this myself just before this workshop, that you can use all these examples, but the most important part is just to be your authentic self. I think, like, based on what I've seen, that's what is interesting for people. Like, it's so easy to copy each other. It's so easy to get like the point from what cool startup from abroad, like anywhere, has made. But like, how do you like bring yourself to the table? How do you bring yourself to the stage? That's something that's very interesting. But I want to thank you guys. Let's do so that let's have a 5-minute break, and after a 5-minute break you will get to pitch your ideas to each other. Unfortunately, we don't have, like, since there's so many of you in here, we don't have time to hear each one of you. So I think what's more valuable, we decided with Daniela, that what's more valuable for you at this moment is that we will do this in breakout rooms, where you will be pitching to each other in small groups. Well, I will really say to you that, like, try to use that time carefully to pitch to each other and give feedback to each other also. How would that sound? Any questions for that before we go on a small break?
Yeah, 3-minute pitch or elevator pitch, or what kind of pitch you would want us to check, to train?
From my opinion, Daniela, you can comment here also, but from my opinion, I would say that you can choose that by yourself. It's that if you want to do it 3 minutes, that's okay. And but main thing is just for you to practice that out. But what would Daniela say on this?
I think it will be better if you practice your 3-minute speech, because that is the one that you're going to use for the competition.
Okay, that's it. So then the 3 minutes, that's the best. So that's what's gonna come up. And as I said, we're gonna have a 5-minute break in here, and then I will move you to breakout rooms. And in those breakout rooms, as I said, you can use, like, you can say, leave a message to the chat to your peers that I want to use some time to get my pitch, like to practice my pitch individually, and then let's share it together. But I think we're going to give you 35 minutes for that maximum. If we don't need that much, then we can take you back earlier. But let's say 35 minutes at this moment, and then we can come back and share some thoughts with each other. How would that sound?
Antti, I have a question.
Go ahead, Olga.
When you said that it's worth trying to make a one-pager pitch, yes?
Yes.
Do you think that all the points that should cover the pitch, like the plan or the team or the problem solving and so it's a lot of tests for one page. So the chance that they forget everything or they get bored of much text is very big. So when you make a one-pager pitch, because that's what I have in plan, is it better not to show the team or not to show details, but only to speak about the problem and the solution and not about figures, for example?
I think that you said it right, because that this is not exactly my opinion, but what I found out from Patrick G. Riley was that he exactly said that, like, when you just get the tick, like when you get the solution and the problem with you, the point that you just said, then like you get the first discussion, and after that, like as most of you probably know, like the contract doesn't like come immediately. It takes time to build the trust. So that's why Patrick recommends that, and I recommend that also. But in the end, it's your decision, whatever suits you for the best.
So I think it's a great idea if, for example, it suits me best, yes, to leave apart the details, even figures, and go with the problem, the solution, and the uniqueness, and the story, maybe a little bit, yes?
Well,
so on one page, just the idea itself, that's all.
Yeah, well, if you feel like that's good for you, then you should go with that. But I think, like, for the investors, of course, like when you go deeper into the finances, it could be like involved somehow, but it's up to everyone to decide on how to do it if you want to be as clear as possible. But Olga, thank you for this question. Let's continue with this afterwards. So we will use a short 5 minutes. I think there's 3 minutes left from that, but like then you can continue in your breakout rooms. But let's have a small break, and we will. I will escort you to breakout rooms there.
I'm sorry. Will we be able to share the screen?
I think so, Daniela. Is that true?
Do you mean right now or during the competition?
No, right now in
the breakout rooms.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Isn't that true, Daniela?
Yeah, I mean, you can do it, but if it doesn't take like so much time, yes.
Okay.
All right, so then we have 2 minutes left for the break, and soon I will escort you to the breakout rooms, but let's have a small break. Thank you, everyone.
Antti?
Yes.
Are you going to decide the breakout rooms?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I will say it for everyone in 2 minutes also.
Okay. Georgis is asking me to put him like in the same group with Bisman because he's the one that is going to pitch.
Okay. Okay. So, well, can you help me with the? Can you also do the breakout rooms?
Of course.
Yes. So, who did you say it was?
Georgis and Bisman. I think Georgie already started, right? The room, so I can just.
Okay, if you can like edit them, like that would be fantastic.
Sure.
Thank you, Daniela. All right, so the break should be over soon. So as I said, I will give you each team, or we will give 35 minutes, and each of us, like, we will also visit some of the breakout rooms just to see how everything is going, and I will give you some feedback based on what I see in the breakout rooms. So as I said before, or already before the breaks, you can say when you go to the breakout rooms that if you want to use sometimes just individually, like go on the pitch just by yourself, like feel free to say that or put it in the chat. Then use this 35 minutes so that be in your groups and like try to give out your best, like try to think that the investor would be inside that room, and when your friend has done the pitch, then give him constructive feedback after that. How would that sound? Do you have any questions? If there are no questions, then I will open up all the rooms. There's most of them, you have 3 people in the room, and there's some that have 2 people, but don't worry. If there's some people coming up to the main meeting room, I will just move them to the rooms that have less people. Olga, go ahead.
Again,
No worries.
I know that there are no stupid questions, so I want to ask. So we are pitching, all the 3 of us in the group are making the 3-minute speech like quickly, and the other 2 persons, they give us feedback and we just write down the feedback. Yes, that's what we do.
That's a very good idea. That's a very good idea. Like after it's done, remember, like if it helps you when you receive the feedback, like write them down. It's a good idea.
So the feedback should be about like what should you change for the better, or what other stuff should you cover, or how it should behave better, or like feedback should be constructive because
yes, you open up a good point in there. So like a constructive feedback, like for each different people it means different things, but basically from so to use the time quickly, say the points that come into your mind, like what do you want to say. Don't go too deep into the feedback if it takes too much time, because 35 minutes sounds like it's a long time, but it still goes very quickly. So use the time effectively, give some positive notes and some notes that you would say that like, try to think about this when you pitch to the investor. Thank you, Olga.
Thank you.
Okay, so enjoy, and I will be seeing you guys soon, and I will go and follow you in the breakout rooms. Good luck, everyone. Okay, so you came back already.
Yeah, because our group is small, so I did my pitch twice, and they did their pitch.
All right, gotcha. Okay, so everyone is coming back soon. How was it, Azil? Are you getting? How are you feeling about the?
First of all, I'm super grateful for Salamato and Ahmed. They were wonderful and very supportive and really like very insightful. So the first one was very spontaneous from my side. And then when we realized that there's only 2 of the groups that are pitching and we have time, so I kind of had a pitch with me that I have written. And I said it again and they liked it better. So now I know that I need to tweak this one, not the other one.
Fantastic to see and hear that it was a beneficial moment for you. Did you say that to Ahmed and who was the other one?
Salamato.
Salamato. Did you say that to them also?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, fantastic.
I even wished them good luck and wanted to help in anything I can. And, you know, Salamato's presentation was very impressive in terms of like she transported me to Nigeria. So.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Asil. And thank you, each of you. As you could see, the 2 hours goes very quickly. And from what I hope you got from this pitching session was that you got to possibly even network even a little more, to get to know each other more and learn from each other, and some like minor steps forward towards Monday. So I heard that you have on Monday you have the exciting day. So I hope that you got some good points there, and I want to thank like all of you. It's always like it's exciting to go pitching, and I think it's something that takes you to the next level, and it's very much needed in life, like the whole structure of pitching and everything. So if you have any questions for me, I wrote down my email in there and my LinkedIn site so we can connect, and if you want to send your startup or like a company or anything, feel free to do that, and let's connect in there. But from my side, I say thank you so much for this workshop and having the opportunity to come and speak to you. And so I will say give my turn to Daniela.
Thank you so much. I just want to ask you if you enjoy your time today pitching your ideas, because I think it's a great opportunity also to strengthen your network and yeah, of course, to have feedback and that was the idea, to prepare you to the competition. So I really hope that everybody enjoyed today's.
Yeah, it was great. I just have one question. I had a problem sharing screen. I'm using iPad Zoom application and I couldn't share my screen. So is that going to be a problem on Monday?
I think it's a technical problem. I mean, like only you, because I mean your device, not like in general.
Okay.
But definitely, I recommend you to use a different device.
Yeah, I'll use a computer then. Okay.
It's me either. I have an Apple and it works properly. So yeah, maybe you should change some settings.
You're on a computer or on iPad?
MacBook Air.
Yeah, okay, I'll use that one. Okay, perfect.
Okay, super. I need to ask Antti, please, if you can share your screen, because my computer crashed right now and it's not working at all. So if you can just help me to with your the presentation, please. Okay, great. So, like I said in the beginning, we are partners in this project called GET. We are partners, and we have 11 partners, and we are in 9 different countries, as you can see: Malta, Netherlands, United Kingdom, Denmark, Lithuania, Finland, Slovakia, Austria, and Italy. Antti, please, if you can just pass. Yeah, so this project is basically an open design school. There is a pilot actually. Thank you. It's basically this methodology that is multidisciplinary, peer-to-peer, work-based learning, open to experimental and learning by mistakes. That's why we were just so grateful that someone mentioned this. And speaking of these kind of mistakes, I am from Guatemala, and in Latin America, there is like a movement that is called Fuck Up Nights, actually. And basically, this is like an event like occurs to time, and it's like failures stories. So I think learning from mistakes is super important, and sometimes you can actually learn more about these mistakes than successful stories. And of course, this project is also through validation through open and transversal community, and actually is trying to provide real solution to real problems. Can you pass this slide?
Daniela, I would like to say that I was a speaker at Fuck Up Nights 2 times. One is offline and one is online here in Lebanon.
Great. Yeah. I love that. I love this thinking, you know, like learning by mistakes. That is great. So, okay, this Deus project has basically 2 main components. One is training and the other one is living labs. The trainings are functional for entrepreneurs, digital and transversal soft skills, and living labs also like an interdisciplinary peer-to-peer approach. And it's like identify like common upscale solution from local to Europe. Can you go to the next one? The next one, please. So this approach is educational through challenge-based training, and will offer 3 different paths to choose from. Path 1 is formal assessment. The second one is a guidance program, not formal assessment. And the third one is a mix of these 2. This challenge are unique because the fact like developed through learning, and they can be like applied and demonstrate that that your knowledge is there, like a lesson, like a micro lesson or things like that. So it's super great, this kind of methodology. We have also assessment, like it's like a peer-to-peer assessment, and you can work with others. Formative assessment, and the other one is like the accumulation of both. You have pitching, you have portfolio, and you have essays. This is all the lesson plan. It's basically 12 components. And we have this EnterCop that is basically a competition framework. We have the digital component, that is digital comp, basically is the common reference framework. Then you have 21 competence there and 5 key areas. And also live component, that is a very like establish and sharing understanding. And the living labs, that is basically learn, design, and create. If you are interested in working in this and be part of this project, this is the living lab, is the methodology that drives you to a challenge-based teamwork, and you can also know people here because this is specifically for professionals. So you can strengthen your network if you want and you're interested. Can you go to the last one, please? So this is the platform. If you're interested, this is the platform that you can apply there. You can create your profile and you can be part of this project. This is the platform, and I'm going to put all the information in the platform, in our platform, the community of Creative Business Network. And that's it for those. Thank you, Antti. Thank you so much. Just give me 1 second because my computer actually, crashed and I can turn it on. So Federica, can you help me? Go to Mentimeter, please.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, give me just 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, just before that. Sorry guys, I didn't count with this technical issue. You know, computers can crash sometimes. I'm going to share one link with you. That is just an evaluation about this, only this pitching mode that we have today. And I'm going to put it in the chat. If you can go to this link, just 1 second, and I'm going to put it. Federica, my computer is not working. Can I send it to you? Sorry guys about this technical problems. Okay, I send it. Please, Federica, share it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Finally, we have it. Okay, can you go, everybody, to this link? And it's basically a survey for only this model that we had today with Antti, with this demos methodology. If you can just go to there and answer the question, they are only going to take like around 5 minutes. Here.
Sorry for the disturbance. Just go ahead, continue.
I don't know, everybody has to go to the link. Can you please just confirm that everybody can open it and you are in there?
I don't like the wrinkles in the forehead of Asil Hunaini. We're not gonna pay for any removal of wrinkles.
That's why I never put my camera on, but today Daniela is...
No, but I'm not saying that it looks bad, but you might regret later on. Also,
No, it's how I am. I'm smiling all the time or concentrating all the time. That's how I am. I can't help it. I'm a very passionate person.
actually, smiling will also give wrinkles. You will get wrinkles, especially here if you smile too much.
It's okay.
Daniela, I will send the slides to you so that you can share them with anyone.
Yes, please.
Cool.
Thank you so much, Antti, for being
Thank you, Daniela.
here today. We really appreciate it.
And everyone else, of course. Let's follow the football and see who wins.
Yeah.
Thank you, Antti. Thanks.
Thank you.
Enjoy your holidays.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Antti.